In this video, we are going to learn how to integrate local models in .NET applications. The idea is the following. We know that we can use AI in our applications, but usually that costs money. Therefore, something that we can do is to use local models, which are artificial intelligence models that runs on our hardware, to use AI for free. So for that, we're going to use Ollama. Ollama is a service that allows us to use many local models in an easy manner. Let's see that. We are here in Ollama.com, and the first thing that we need to do is to install it. So in my case, I have Windows, therefore I can simply copy this code that we have here. We can open PowerShell, and here in PowerShell, we can simply paste this and press enter. In my case, I already have Ollama, so I don't need to run it. But if you have another OS, like for example macOS or Linux, you can definitely use those options here. Or you can simply download the executable and install it on your machine. But anyway, we have Ollama installed, therefore let me open a terminal like this one and I can say Ollama, and as you can see, indeed I have Ollama. Alright, escape. Now, if we want to use a local model, we need to get a local model. Therefore, we have to come here and we can choose a local model. In my case, I'm going to use Qwen 3.5. I don't use 3.6 because this is a simple example, and the 3.6 models are very powerful but also very demanding of resources, therefore they are a little bit slower. So we're going to use 3.5. In my case, as you can see here, by the way, we have these models and they have different sizes, and the bigger the size, the more powerful the model is. In my case, I like to use this one, the one with 2 billion parameters. Therefore, I can click on here, and as you can see, in order to run it, we have to say Ollama run and the name of the model. So copy here, we can come back here, paste this, and enter. If you haven't downloaded this model yet, first you will have to download it, and then you will be able to run it. As you can see here, in my case, I already have this model, therefore I can simply chat with it. So let me say, what is the capital city of Dominican Republic? Enter. It is going to reason for a moment, and then it will give us this answer, which is correct. Alright, so let me say here, bye. Alright, so now we can use an Ollama model in our .NET application. So let me say here first, Ollama list, so that you can see the model that we have installed, and in my case again, we're going to use this one. So let's come here. I have this .NET application, which is a console application that we can use. It was just created. I haven't changed anything. So let's do this. But before that, if you want to learn more about how to integrate artificial intelligence and agents in .NET applications, buy my course today. In this course, we learn how to build chatbots, both in console applications and in ASP.NET Core. Also, we learn how to use RAG to allow the AI to answer questions about our documents, and also we built an MCP server. There is a link with a discount in the description of this video to my course. Alright, so back to the tutorial. So the first thing that we need is to install two NuGet packages. So let's come here, right click on here, let me say manage NuGet packages. Let's come to browse. First we need Ollama Sharp. Ollama Sharp will allow us to use Ollama models here in our application. So install, accept. And also, for the second example, in which we're going to use a tool, which means that we're going to allow the AI model to run a C# function from our application, I need to install Microsoft.Extensions.AI. So this one, install, accept. Alright, this is great. Now let's come here and let's do the first example. The first example is simply going to be to ask a question to the model and put a response in the console. So for that, I will say IChatClient control dot this chatClient equal to, it seems like this didn't, alright, now it is here. So new Ollama API client, here I need to put the URL of the Ollama server, which in localhost is here. And then in here I have to put the model. In our case, of course, our model is this one. So copy and paste this here. Alright, so now I can say var response. I'm ready to use the AI, by the way. Await chatClient dot get response async. Again, what is the capital city of Dominican Republic? And then in here I will say console write line response text. Control F5, and we're going to see that we're able to use an Ollama model here in our .NET application. Alright, as you can see, this is working. Now for the second example, as I mentioned, we're going to use a tool, which means that we're going to allow the AI to invoke a C# function. So for this example, I need this class, a person class, which is simply a class with name and profession. So let's come here. So we're going to mimic the fact that we're going to ask the AI for information that it can only get using our application. For example, this could be information that is in a database or that it needs to invoke a web API, etc. So let's come here. And first, what we need to do is to tell the AI that it can indeed invoke our functions. So for that, we're going to do the following. We're going to say here, IChatClient equal to IChatClient as builder, use function invocation, build. And with this, we have created a new IChatClient that allows the AI to invoke C# functions. Alright, so now, just so that we can separate things, I'll put here this. Alright, so now, let me say here, var people equal to a list of person, and these 3 people that we have here, this is the information that we're going to send to the AI using a tool. So in order to indicate which are the functions that the AI can invoke, we have to use chat options. So let me say here, var chat options equal to new chat options. Chat options is an object that allows us to send extra information, extra instructions to the AI. And one of those instructions is this tool's property that we have here. So in here, I can put the functions that the AI can execute. Of course, we can put this in a class for organization purposes, but in our case, since this is a simple example, we're just going to put it here. So AI function factory, create. Here we can pass a delegate. And in here, this is the function, by the way, that the AI is going to execute. And in here, what I can do is to simply return people. Again, we can think that this is accessing a database using Entity Framework Core, Dapper, ADO.NET, etc. And then also, besides this delegate that we have here, we have to tell the AI model what this function does. Of course, because the AI will not be able to simply see this function. It will be able to execute it, not see it. That is why we have to send metadata about the name of the function and a description. So in here, I will say new AI function factory options, and in here I can pass a name like get people and then a description, just gets the people. It is important to put here a meaningful description because the AI is going to use this information to deduce or to infer when it should execute this function. Alright, so let's come here. Now we have these chat options and we have set that the AI should be able to invoke functions. Therefore, we're ready to go. Let me say here, response, await, chat client, get response async one more time. Now the prompt is going to be, what is the number of people? And in here, we have to pass the chat options, which again contains the list of functions that the AI can execute. Now, console write line, response, text. Alright, and let me put here a breakpoint here. F5, and let's see what happens. Alright, let's come here. Let's wait a few seconds. We have this reply, but after this, we have this. Alright, as you can see, indeed, this function is being executed by the AI, and we're returning this list of people. Now, F5, and we're going to see that we have here that there are 3 people in the database, of course. And those are the 3 people that are in the database. So indeed, as you can see, it was very easy for us to integrate a local model in a .NET application by using Ollama. Please let me know in the comments what other subjects, what other tutorials you want me to make. Thank you.